Hello, everyone. I'm gonna pick up kind of where I left off the other day. I was kind of rushed for time and I didn't get a chance to get everything done. I've got a few things I want to show you. One thing has to do with the line, of course. Some more confirmation. I do want to share this picture with you and what I saw. I do also want to go over scrapbook 107. Everybody seems to talk about this one a lot. I have some input on this. And if you notice, the date on this was November 2014, before I ever came into the chase, which was in 2019. So let's get started with this line again. My last video I put up was about the poem Antigonish. And you might want to look that video up and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Something else about this line that I wanted to talk about was the chapter Jump-Starting the Learning Curve. Forrest writes in here, "It was easy to justify the time I spent in Spanish class looking out of the big window that was adjacent to my desk." The big window adjacent to my desk. It was on the second floor, and a beautiful old iron slide-down fire escape was just outside that window. When the sun was out, the smell of freedom was more than I could resist. So on occasion, when Miss Ford was writing Spanish words on the back blackboard, I'd quickly slip through the window and down and away. I was proud to have thought of that idea all by myself. I remember the exhilarating feeling that there were probably a lot more ideas out there that were just as good as that one. And I give you the ladder. This resembles a ladder. As above, so below. So that's what I wanted to share with you, that story that really stuck out to me, that it was a great idea. It was exhilarating. It was when I found this line. Whether it be a ladder or the stairs. Anyway, you might want to check that other video out. So I'll put this aside. And I'm going to bring up this. I'm going to try to get this on my, well, I'm going to have to fold it to get it all on here. I wasn't prepared for that, obviously. So you can kind of see what I'm doing here. Sorry, I'm trying to find my ruler. I found it now. So one of the things about this picture that stuck out to me was what I did with this picture is I separated it into two different pieces. Oh, that's going to be hard to see. Well, I can always print this out again if I need to. We'll just move that aside. So something that I did with this is I drew this out. This is actually easier to do when I'm not under pressure here. This is not going to be exact. This is just for demonstration. So this would be the bottom of the box. The other thing that's important on what I call the top layer is this frog. And you have the key. So with the key, you've got this. You have, say, a property line, a boundary line, and it halts. And with the frog, the key's pointing you to this, in my opinion, and the frog is pointing you to this bell. It's pointing you to the bell. So for the next layer, you've got the key again. You've got all these coins. My opinion, it's going to represent a search area. I'm not going to draw all of this, but I'm going to draw the majority of it. And then you have the bell. So here's this layer. It's telling you that you need to go through here and you're looking for something that would look like a bell. You tilt it up, it would look like a thumb, a bell, omega sign. It would look like many things. It could even look like an owl peeking up over the trees. So that's my theory on this picture, which you've got multiple layers. It's telling you what to do. It's telling you how to start. Next is, I will talk about scrapbook 107. Let's turn this light table off and see better maybe. So this is the scrapbook 107 that came out in November 2014. And it's got the picture of the telephone. Forrest talks about things in order. And here's the thing, he talks about wish that telephone cord wasn't all bunched up. It was laying nice and straight. Well, if you was to stretch that out, you would have a line. You also have this that makes a box, or you could say this makes a box. It's got a border. Also, what stood out to me was the picture of the dash hand, the pup. That sticks out to me. Other than the phone cord, he's stretching it out. It's making a line. I've talked about lines. The next part of the scrapbook was the picture of the drawer with the silverware. How it bothered him, you know, when it looks all messy. Put everything in order. Then we have the picture. A lot of people talk about, you've got the letter, envelope, you got the pen with the cap's not on it, you got the $5 bill that's been folded, and you've got a stamp over here that is not on the envelope. Well, like I said, this scrapbook came out way before I even came along. But it's a scrapbook that gets talked about a lot, and there's a lot of theories to this scrapbook. One was the GPS solve, hinting at the numbers. But what I noticed was this $5 bill is out of place. I can see the pen being used to write the information on the envelope, and the stamp being used. But what's out of place is this $5 bill. Well, many people have pointed out when you fold the $5 bill over, there's the word treasure underneath here. And for the longest time, I thought I was onto something in my search area with this. But recent developments have pointed me into a different direction with this $5 bill. Now, I mean, it's been a while, but it's been fairly recent. It's been a while since I've known this. So, if you look at these letters on here, what stands out to me is if you flip this upside down, you have this U that makes that shape, which would be like an omega sign. Or it could look like, say, this. So when I was playing around with this $5 bill that's been folded, it's clearly out of place. Doesn't go with this picture. And we know there's things to do with mirroring, reflection. So if you take this $5 bill and you flip it over and you line it this way, underneath here, you will see the word treasure point you to this. And that's what I've come up with. I thought it was interesting. So leave your comments. I like to hear your comments. I'm just curious to know what everybody thinks about that theory. It's just that the $5 bill does not belong with this. So I'll leave you with that thought. One other thing I wanted to show you is, we talk about mirroring, and I've done it on several, the one picture with the line, I've done it. But I've got something else I wanted to kind of show you. I've mentioned it. I don't know how many people have seen this. And I don't know how well it's going to show up here. I gotta find my mirror. Here it is. So if you was to take this is one of the things I talked about on Bear and Findy's show, was if you took a mirror to this picture in War for Me of this forest holding this marker up. If you was to take this, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. Let me move this over. If you was to mirror this, you come out with a man that looks like Paul Bunyan. Doesn't look like a soldier anymore. Looks like Paul Bunyan. There's several pictures in here that you could mirror and see things. That was just one I wanted to point out because I had mentioned it on Barrett and Findy's show. And I also want to say that this is probably going to be the last video I put out. I don't know if I will anymore. Just because of some info that's come up recently. I think I want to take a break from this. I've enjoyed showing a little bit of what I do know, or what I believe to be the case. Also, what I want to say too is I want to tell Toby and Shelley thanks for the opportunity to hide one of the geocaches. If you go to their website, gypsieskiss.com, there's a spot in there, a link in there where you can go to the geocaches. I don't know if anybody has found the one that I hid. If it hasn't been found, that's good. I'm hoping to get back to the cache sometime in between now and the end of April. And I will add to that cache. I'm not sure what I'm going to add to it, but I know somebody came close to finding it last year. They reached out to me. But if they happen to catch this video, you might want to hold off. I'm going to maybe add a little something to it. And that's it for now. Like I said, I'm going to take a break from the videos for a little bit. I just wanted to show everybody a little bit of what I had, and thought it was fair just to share a little bit. I enjoy everybody's conversation that we have in the chat. It's always enjoyable to hear other people's opinions. Something else I wanted to mention too, I almost forgot. So I was rewatching one of the videos from the other night from some searchers, and they were going over some of Jack's information from his emails. And I went back over the what was the name of that called? The Outside magazine. That was the Jack Stoof that Dan Barbarisi did. I think that's what it was. Anyway, what I'm getting to here is yeah, it was the Outside magazine. Outside Online magazine. Well, something in here struck me as odd. And the paragraph that has in here, 2 years later, talking about Jack, he had achieved what so many other searchers could not, finding and claiming Finn's treasure. Stoof's status as the finder was independently verified with the Finn family. He retrieved the chest on Saturday, June 6, 2020, in Wyoming, and began the long drive down to Santa Fe to deliver it to Finn that same day. That evening, news of the find was already beginning to come out as Finn believed it must. We should let searchers know as soon as you have it, Stoof said. Finn told him. His thought was that as soon as it's out of place, we need to let people know. It's just weird the choice of words they used for this story. Out of place. Kind of odd. As soon as you have it. Kind of odd. He already knew he found it. Supposedly it sent him pictures. It's just kind of odd. And also here, where they add this in, Stoof's status as the finder was independently verified with the Finn family. They kind of put this in here to suggest that in the beginning, the family independently verified this. It was not independently verified by the family until Stoof actually came out on December 7th. And I don't know if on Dale Neitzel's website if that was ever retracted. I assume it stayed up there. I can't remember, honestly. But I know on the old Santa Fe Trading website, I mean, it wasn't up there very long and it had been retracted. So I find that odd that this story kind of throws this in here, this timeline, when that's not the timeline that happened. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that. I find it interesting. Like I said, I don't take much stock into what Jack has to say, but I like the fact that he was wearing a Tigers baseball hat, because that's exactly what I wore when I went to my search area. But I'm from Missouri, and I'm an MIZZOU fan. Anyway, enough babbling. Thanks for listening. It's been a hoot. Be safe, be kind, be positive, and have fun. And like I said, this is probably going to be the last video I do for quite a while. I just, some information is coming out. I feel a little uneasy. So I'm just going to hold out for a little while. And we'll just see what happens. Looking forward to summer. Take care, everyone.